I'm gonna start with my smallest book, and then we're gonna go to my largest book. So this is my book of portraits. This is a book that is exactly as it sounds. This is how I started practicing my portraits. You can see that they were rough. I had no understanding of like proportions or where things were in the face. That's why you can see this book I started in 2022, and it's not even close to being done. I don't do a lot of like finished sketches in here. It's kind of just like quick 5, 10, 15, 20 minute sketches. This is a very cheap sketchbook that I found at Walmart, I believe. So I only use pencil. I have used ink on it, which is fine. Like I don't care that these get really messy. I'm not too worried about it. So that is the first way that I use my sketchbook. The second way that I use my sketchbook is a journal. So this journal is covered in stickers, as opposed, like I don't have another sketchbook that I cover in stickers. These are all just random ones that I picked up at the farmer, or I've picked them up at different places. So have a look and figure out what they are. This one was not a sticker. This one was like a coupon or something. And I got the sketchbook from Michael's. I feel like it's the only nice sketchbook they have. I try and write my date that the age that I'm at when I start my sketchbook. So I still haven't finished this one. And I do that because I know in the future I'm gonna forget. That's exactly why I do it. And then this was kind of like the theme. Self-reflection was the theme. Sometimes I add a theme, sometimes I don't. I got that idea actually from Jess Carp, because she starts with like a theme or some type of fun little thing at the beginning of her sketchbook. This I actually got from a different sketchbook, this border that I did, because I did it in a different sketchbook and I loved it so much, but I didn't love it in the sketchbook that it was in. So I just cut it out, put it in here, and then rewrote the date. And I love it so much. I started using it to write just like random things I liked. I was rating movies that I was watching. These are just random things that I've drawn, a collection of random things that I've drawn that have been in front of me at the time that I drew it. Does that make sense? And then pages that started and were never finished. I didn't know that I drew this on the back. So I'm sad because I liked both images. I do try and keep this notebook to things that like I actually see, so I don't use a lot of my imagination in this. I mean, this I did, because that is adorable. But for the most part, I stick to things that I see, and then sometimes I'll write little blurbs about them. I like this one. I had a nice chat with my coworker, and I just drew the chair that he was sitting in. And then I had went for coffee earlier, and I got a vanilla latte, and it was horrible. Random notes. Actually, I did draw this. These were images on Pinterest. I also use it for thumbnails. We have a little like group thing in our office, so I drew this on my night shift. More thumbnails, more sketches, more sketches. Some cover-ups. So this journal is really like a little bit of everything. This was my old living room. I really like how this turned out. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of winging it, but I think it turned out cool. I remember this was like the first nice day. I think this was 2021. These were some old roses that I pasted in here, and they're finally like flat. These are people at the airport. And I was experimenting here. So yeah, that's my little sketchbook slash journal. I don't take it too seriously. There's not a lot of personal things in here that like could incriminate me, and I tend to write very like, I just let my stream, it's like a stream of consciousness that doesn't really make sense, so. Okay, we're almost done actually. I need to finish this. Maybe I'll try and finish this within the next few weeks. The next way that I use my sketchbook, I have this like cute, this is a square one. I feel like I can never find square ones that I like. So this was actually gifted to me. And it's really cute. It's very small. I like it. So let's dig in this one. So this sketchbook I use for finished pieces, but I'm also using it to experiment with just like mixing different mediums. And yeah, I've really been having fun in this, especially because it is so, I love that it's square. So this was ink and pencil crayon, and then just like black ink pen. This was the same thing. I'm really loving this acrylic ink. It has such a beautiful texture, and I love the way the white shows up on it. I love this picture. Same thing. This was more experiments with different inks, pencil crayon, and I love how it turns out. Again, more inks. This was not that bright, but I think it's still beautiful background image. I feel like I could scan this through Procreate and like do something fun with it. Again, more acrylic ink, and then this is charcoal that I was experimenting with. So that was super fun. And white pencil. More acrylic ink. I like that this kind of looks like a little sunset in her eyeballs. I feel like that's really cool. And then here we are. I think I'm missing. Okay, I was going to end at 4, but I think I have 5. So I use my sketchbooks to do, I guess, collages. This one I was doing kind of like a mood board. I was doing a mood board for a painting that I never ended up doing. But I really like this image, so I think I still like this. I'm still gonna use it. I was experimenting with doing landscapes with images from magazines, and I sucked at it. So I'm glad I stuck to a small scale because I couldn't really, I was not patient enough for that. And then more finished pieces. I do have other sketchbooks with more, I think, collages, but I use so many different sketchbooks at once that sometimes I forget what image is in where. Usually I don't, but you know, every now and then I'm going through like 7 sketchbooks, so it's bound to happen. But anyways, I use this mostly just for fun, for experimenting. This was just a lot of experimenting. It ended up turning like a big blob. A lot of unfinished things. I also use this for thumbnails and like ideas. I like to play around in these sketchbooks because they're so big. There's so much room to just do whatever. This one was a fun little one that I did. I thought that was cute. And there's a lot of unfinished things in here. More thumbnails. And sometimes I do go, I'm not afraid to paint over like pages that I don't like. I will go over it with acrylic paint. Like a lot of these pages that are blank, I will definitely use all of these pages. If I don't like something, I will paint over it. I don't like a lot of like the white space, especially in a notebook this big. So these are notes for like how to format a video. This is like a little bit of everything. I have some finished pieces in here. I kind of got off track. I don't know what number I'm at anymore, but that's my big sketchbook. That's my baby. This one's 9 by 12 Canson. I love this sketchbook. And then last but not least is my 7 by 10 Canson sketchbook. Again, I feel like for the price and the fact that they're always in stock, usually in stock, and you can find them everywhere, I feel like these are such a good deal. I've used oil paint in these, obviously on top of many layers of acrylic, and I've used every medium in these sketchbooks, and I feel it, and I cut them out and I put them in other sketchbooks. Like I just use them for so much. I love them. I love the rings. I thought I hated it, but no, I don't. Okay, so this sketchbook, or the last reason that I use my sketchbook, is to make patterns. My first page says, "Let's start over," because I cut this out and repasted it and covered up what was on the cover because it looked ugly. And this is where we started. I really like how this turns out. Every time I try to recreate it, it looks completely different, which I guess is okay. But I think it's so cool. Just like a lot of overlapping, and like it looks very trippy. And I love that. These are just some post-it notes I did, and I was just like playing with the exact same shape, but changing the way that I applied color and changing kind of how wavy I made each shape, and then adding different patterns on top, and like adding lines in different places, and that's why it says patterns and lines. And these are just like post-it notes that I stuck on to my paper. I didn't want them to curl up, so I just stuck them on there. And my favorite one, I believe, was which one is my first one? I think I love all these three, to be honest, but I think this was my first one. And it's my favorite one. It looks cool. Glasses. I love like this like overlapping of like the exact same item. But glasses, I feel like take all my brain power to make them accurately. I think this looks cool. I've also done this with chairs. I really love drawing chairs for some reason. And I'm excited to just like keep layering more glasses on top of this. Again, another pattern that I like. I really love wavy patterns. Playing with more waves. I tried to add some variety. I wanted to kind of draw intuitively, but still create some type of flow. So that's why I have so many different patterns. I think this one was my favorite, especially because I like the dots. I think that's just like a cool touch. I also do like this one. More patterns. And then I tried to take those patterns and put them into a thumbnail. Obviously this is not like an original idea, but because I feel like people will recognize these waves. Definitely need to do more of this, just like adding lines and shapes. It's really fun to just like see what your brain can come up with and also see what you're naturally drawn to, because I know that I love drawing wavy things and like circles a lot, so that's really fun. These I think are like my fave, all of these little cute shapes. I do like that though. Just like more patterns. I'm pretty sure I use post-it notes to just create these little boxes, and they're also perfect size for thumbnail sketches. This was inspired by beads. I really like that one. I also really like this one, and this one, and this one. I like all of them. And this was me trying to like put some of these patterns together and play with it, and I feel like it turned out pretty cool. It's very like Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat vibes, right? This was definitely inspired by like James Jean. Oh, but there's one finished drawing. I did this one recently and I really love it actually. I forgot this is in here. So I do not limit myself to what I put in my drawings. I do kind of have an idea of what each book is used for, so because I do end up referencing them a lot actually. So I like to have an idea of like why I'm using this book, so when I do come back to it, I know where to look. But I'm not too crazy about that. That's why every book is kind of, they're all over the place. And I say that I'm gonna use it for something like a themed book, and then I don't end up doing that. And I think it's okay. So yeah, those are my ways that I like to use my sketchbook. I'm curious to know how other people use their sketchbooks. That's kind of my favorite subject. I wish more people would show us how they use their sketchbooks. So I hope that was fun for you because it was fun for me. So I'll see you in the next one.